Ever feel like your hormones, especially during menopause, are just on this like wild roller coaster ride you just can't get off of?
Hmm.
Well, buckle up because today we're going on a deep dive into the link between gut health and hormone harmony.
Yeah, it's really interesting how much we keep learning about how much our gut impacts our total well-being.
Right.
It's way more than just digestion. It's super important for hormone balance, which is, especially key when you're going through stuff like menopause, right?
Totally. And we've got a ton of research here. And one thing that really stuck out was this idea that our gut, brain, and hormones are constantly talking to each other.
Oh, for sure. It's really like a whole communication system going on, like you're all in a group chat.
Right.
Your gut's got this, it has its own nervous system. They call it the second brain sometimes. Millions of nerve cells.
Wow.
And it's constantly, messaging with your brain, and that affects, well, everything. Mood, your immune system, and, yep, even your hormones.
Okay, so we have this second brain sending out all these signals. What happens during menopause, when your hormones are naturally going up and down?
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting, honestly. Research, like from the Journal of Menopausal Medicine, shows that if you have a balanced gut microbiome, it can actually help you, manage those hormonal changes, and that could mean fewer and less severe menopause symptoms, which I think everybody wants, right?
Wait, hold on. A healthier gut could mean, fewer hot flashes, less mood swings.
Yeah.
Really? Tell me more.
That's still a pretty new area of research, but the studies that are out there show some promising stuff, there's this one study in the journal Menopause, and they found that the women who took this probiotic supplement, they had way fewer hot flashes, and they weren't sweating as much at night compared to the women who didn't take it.
Interesting. So we're talking about probiotics, those good bacteria that everyone's always talking about.
Right.
But it's not as easy as just, taking a pill, is it? I mean, our research really emphasized how important our diet is to all of this.
It's true. Taking supplements, it can definitely help, but you got to eat the right foods, too. Probiotic-rich foods, like yogurt, but make sure it's got active cultures, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. They all bring good bacteria to your gut, add some diversity.
I was just going to say, when you say diversity, it made me think about how our research really stressed having a wide variety of good bacteria in our gut, not just a lot of them.
Exactly.
It's about the variety, too.
Totally. Every single strain of bacteria has its own little superpowers, right? Take Lactobacillus acidophilus, for example. It's in yogurt. And studies show that it can actually help your body metabolize estrogen better.
Now that is a superpower.
Right.
Sign me up,
Yeah.
especially if it can help with, those estrogen fluctuations that can make menopause so rough. But we can't forget about fiber, right? That seemed to be a big theme in what we read.
Oh, absolutely. Fiber is essential. I think of it like, the cleaning crew in your gut going through and sweeping out all the waste and toxins.
So it's like the reset button for our gut, hitting refresh, making sure everything's running how it's supposed to.
Exactly. It's way more than digestion, too. Fiber helps keep your blood sugar levels steady, and that impacts your hormones. It's all connected.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little. How exactly does fiber impact those key hormones, like estrogen and cortisol?
Okay, so say you're eating a lot of sugary or processed foods. What happens? Your blood sugar spikes, right?
Right.
So then your body is trying to fix it, so it releases insulin.
Yeah.
But when those spikes happen over and over again, it can really mess with your other hormones, your estrogen and cortisol included. They get all out of whack.
So it's like this domino effect. Sugar throws your insulin levels off, and then that disrupts that balance in all your other hormones.
Yeah, it's like a chain reaction. But this is where fiber swoops in for the rescue, right? It slows down how fast that sugar gets into your bloodstream, so you don't have those crazy blood sugar spikes. Your insulin levels stay more balanced, and that keeps your other hormones, hopefully happy and in check as well.
So stabilizing blood sugar, that's huge for hormone balance. We know that now. But it seemed like our sources were saying those good gut vibes, they can impact even more than that. Mood, brain power, all that good stuff.
It's amazing, isn't it? How, everything's connected in the body. Take serotonin, for example. Did you know that most of it, 95%, is actually made in your gut?
Wait, really? I always thought of serotonin as that feel-good chemical in your brain.
It is, but it starts its journey in your gut. And it's not just mood, it's involved in, everything. How well you sleep, your appetite, even healthy bones.
Wow. Okay. So basically, when our gut is happy and pumping out that serotonin, we feel better, we sleep better, our bones are stronger.
Exactly. Just goes to show you, taking care of your gut, it's not just like a digestive thing. It really does affect the whole package.
So true. And speaking of whole body health, our sources, they also mention some really interesting research about gut health and how well our brains work, especially as we get older.
Yeah, it's a newer area of research, but there are studies showing that your gut microbiome might actually play a role in keeping your brain healthy as you age.
Mm.
There's even some thought that if your gut microbiome is out of balance, it could increase your risk of cognitive decline, like problems with memory and thinking.
So what's good for the gut is good for the brain too.
Seems like it. We definitely need more research, but it makes sense, right? Taking care of your gut, making sure you have a good, diverse microbiome through a healthy diet, it's like giving your brain the best chance to stay sharp as you get older.
It always comes back to food, doesn't it? And speaking of, our sources had some awesome sounding gut healthy recipes. That kimchi fried quinoa really caught my eye. It just sounds delicious and good for you.
Oh, I love that one. Quinoa. It's like a nutritional rock star, right?
Mm.
Tons of protein, lots of fiber. And we already know those are both key players for a happy gut and balanced hormones. Plus, you've got the kimchi in there, bringing all those good probiotics to the party.
Best of both worlds. And the recipe is so simple. You just saute some veggies, toss in your cooked quinoa and kimchi, and you're done. Dinner is served.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You don't have to make it complicated, It's about finding those ways to add gut-healthy foods that you enjoy that you can actually see yourself eating long-term.
Totally. And for those busy mornings, when you're rushing out the door, we found a great recipe for overnight oats. Talk about easy.
Right. And so much better than that sugary cereal that'll have you crashing by like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Overnight oats, you just throw everything in a jar the night before. Oats, yogurt, milk, whatever toppings you like, and you wake up and boom, breakfast is ready.
I love that you can add whatever you want to it. Berries, nuts, chia seeds, a little sprinkle of cinnamon, so many options.
Totally.
Mm.
And, that's what it's all about, finding what works for you, what you like, because that's how you stick with it.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about the lentil and kale soup. Hearty, comforting, and chock full of fiber and protein, plus those phytoestrogens we talked about earlier.
Lentil and kale soup. It's like our sources are saying, hey, want a happy gut? Eat your soup.
And of course, no deep dive into gut health would be complete without talking about smoothies, right?
Oh, for sure. That hormone happy smoothie recipe, that one's a winner. You've got your yogurt for probiotics, spinach, berries, those are great for fiber, antioxidants, and then flax seeds, which have those omega-3s that are so good for hormone balance.
So much good stuff in one drink. So we've covered a lot today. If our listeners only remember one thing about the gut hormone connection, especially for those going through menopause, what would it be?
I think the biggest thing is realizing just how connected your gut health is to everything else, your hormones included. When you focus on feeding your gut the right way, building up that diverse microbiome, it can really change how you feel, like physically and mentally. It's pretty cool to know that we have that kind of power, But it can also be a little overwhelming, like where do we even start?
Just start by paying attention to your body. Those cravings you get for sugary stuff, those afternoons when your energy just crashes, trouble sleeping, those could all be signs that your gut's trying to tell you something.
So listen to your gut, literally, and then respond by giving it the good stuff, those nourishing foods it needs.
Exactly. And remember, this isn't about being perfect, You don't need some crazy restrictive diet. It's the small changes you can stick with that make a difference over time.
Like swapping that soda for a glass of water or adding some kimchi to your meal, little things add up.
Exactly. Every time you eat, it's a chance to make a choice that supports your gut and in the end, supports your overall health and well-being.
So well said. As we wrap up this deep dive into gut health and hormone harmony, remember, every time you reach for something to eat, ask yourself, am I feeding the chaos in my gut, or am I feeding a happier, healthier me?
It's a great question to keep in mind. It can help you make those choices that bring your body back into balance. And that's how you can thrive through menopause and beyond.